In this video, I'm going to show you how to open up a new action figure, whether it's in a blister card or in a box, without totally destroying the packaging. That's today on Nerdzoic. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Nerdzoic. If you're new here, welcome, my nerdy friend. My name is Matt, and this is Nerdzoic. On this channel, you'll find my secret blend of action figures, comic books, and just general nerdiness. Today's going to be a toy collecting 101 type of day, and class is about to be in session. I've had a few people hit me up about how to open a toy in a way that doesn't totally mangle and destroy the packaging. Enough people have asked me at this point that I figured it makes sense to make a full-on video about it. I broke this down into two parts. The first part's going to be for your basic boxes, like a vehicle box or a Marvel Legends or a Star Wars Black Series. The second part's going to be for a bubble package blister figure. Think like a Star Wars vintage collection or an old Power of the Force. I even broke this down into simple steps because Nick Jr.'s on in my house way too much. 3 simple steps. That's all you need. We're going to start with a standard box here. Again, by standard box, I mean a box. So WWE Elite, Star Wars Black Series, Marvel Legends, all of these open and are capable of resealing. Some are easier to open than others depending on the manufacturer. For example, Mattel's Retro Fest wrestling figures were the devil. This also applies to vehicles and playsets as they come in these standard boxes as well. So why would you want to open your toys in a way that preserves the boxes? Couple reasons. One, it's easier to resell them if you have them complete in box. Just make sure you're honest and say they were opened. It's also a cool extra collectible. I like to display my boxes and just make them part of the display overall. It's also a nice spot to store your accessories if you don't do it the way I do and use baggies or some other system. It's also a great way to store them if you need to move. So, opening a box figure, the first step is to wash and dry your hands. Dirty hands means dirty action figures. Step 2 is to get a sharp knife, preferably a box cutter, which you'll see why later, with a nice and sharp blade. Step 3, decide on the entry point. The goal is to cut the least amount of tape as possible. Step 4, make the incision. Step 5, open the box very gently so that you don't tear the cardboard at all. As you can see, I'm not the greatest at this with my big fat hands. Take out the toy, take out the accessories. Feel free to leave any of the accessories that you're not planning on using right away. For me, this is where I set up a little plastic baggie to put my figure's extra hands or extra heads or whatever else I'm not going to use to display it with in. Step 6, put the empty box back together, blister tray and all, so that you don't forget what it came with. If you end up with a stack of these, it's going to be impossible to figure out who went with who. Put it back the same way it came out so that you can put the figure back if you ever need to for resale. If you're finding this video helpful for you in any way, please take a moment and give it the old thumbs up. And if you enjoy this content, go ahead and subscribe so you can come back for more videos. Alright, let's talk about blister carded figures, which is the bulk of my collection. I don't open too many of these, and frankly, there's not really any saving them once they're open. The boxes are going to be ruined, they can't be put back together. You know, with a standard box, really it's just a piece of tape. Other than that, you can pretty much have a new in-box figure minus the piece of tape. But with a blister figure, once it's open, unless you play with super glue, and we're not talking about that today. This type of packaging is more prevalent in old school action figures like the 3 3/4 inch scale, and trying to save the boxes for these is not that common. That said, I wish I would have saved them throughout the years because they make a cool extra collectible. When I was at a con a few weeks ago, I actually saw someone selling the old 87 G.I. Joe card backs, just the card backs, for 10 or 15 bucks a pop. I would never buy them, but because of the information that's on the back, like they have like a character file, and depending on the line, there's a lot of cool stuff on there, so you might want to save them. When it comes to resale, you're obviously not going to reseal it, but it can prove, well, kind of prove, what version of a figure it is. So for example, say you're selling a Darth Vader figure, by having the packaging, you can say, here it is, complete with package, even though it's not packaged, but that way they don't know that it's a newer figure that's not worth as much, for example, if that makes any sense. The first 2 steps are exactly the same as before. You're going to wash and dry your hands, you're going to get a nice sharp knife. This is where the box cutter comes in handy. Take the blade and wipe away any oil that's on it. They use that when they're packaging the blades, and that will definitely leave a residue on the cardboard. Carefully cut all the way around the blister. As you can see, this is a lot easier said than done, especially on a 25-year-old figure. Remove the figure and discard the bubble. Store your accessories however you wish, and that's it. Since you can't put the accessories back into the box like you could a normal figure, this is where I really recommend those baggies. I'll put a link below. I got a box of like 100-ish that will last me forever on Amazon. It was a really good investment and I recommend it. Link in the description. Last but not least, go ahead and store your card back for future use. It's probably overkill unless you have a lot of them, but a short comic box will hold probably every card bag you'll ever have, plus you can use dividers to keep them organized by line. Question of the day: when you go to Walmart or Target, what do you check first, the toy aisle or the electronics collectibles aisle? And once you get there, what's the first toy line you generally look for? My answer is going to be below in the comments, but in fairness, it changes often. Thanks for watching. I hope you got a lot of value out of this. Until next time, be cool, stay nerdy.